Welcome, Jenkelfins, to our spoiler review and discussion of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And here I have Wisteria Sparkle, Spark. And here I have Meyer. Here I have chicken fried rice. And of course, your host, Z Factor. Alright, so the first question is yay or nay?
Yay!
Discuss.
There were a few plot holes, I would think, but overall, I think it was a really good movie. All the action, the twists and turns. You think one thing's about to happen when something else, like you think that they need to escape using hyperdrive when they really have to sacrifice the ship to destroy the other ship. It's extremely twisty.
Wisteria. Spark.
I would give it a yay because there were a lot of great things that happened in it. That like Gabe said, there were a lot of things
Twists.
that Meyer said. There were a lot of things that that happened in it that you really weren't expecting. But then again, there were kind of a few plot holes, and something that we have been discussing a lot is the red and white salt at the old base that they were.
I tell you, it's snow on top of red
Not
salt.
snow!
Yes, it is.
Chicken fried rice, what is your position?
These two are saying yay, so I will go ahead and be the person that says nay.
Alright, why did you dislike the movie?
For one thing, it was way too long. Like, it was 2 hours long. They could have made an extra... They couldn't... And another thing, they could have ended the series on that movie, since it was so long. They could have ended it right there. They could have... I mean, and they had, like,
But who wants
3
that?
movies worth of, like, plot in it. It took some from, like, Hoth. It definitely had, like, Hoth in the end of it.
Alright, and then my position, I'm going to say yay, because I liked it more than The Force Awakens, which I would give a big nay. So that's why I liked...
Because they copied the first original movie.
and that bugged me a lot. So I was very happy with The Last Jedi and how it was different and lots of twists. It took it in unexpected directions, unlike The Force Awakens, which was totally predictable and boring. So I say yay for The Last Jedi. It is with its problems, but it felt like the most like a Star Wars movie out of all the reboots that we've had.
Except for Rogue One. I thought that was awesome.
Rogue One I don't like.
What?
Nay for Rogue One. So, before the official release of the film, critics would pre-screen and they'd see the movie first and they wrote their review. And a lot of critics really liked the movie and they gave it positive reviews, positive feedback. It had a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so, yeah, that's a review site.
Oh.
And, you know, the critics loved it. But then, a little while later, after it was released, fans and audiences were really not liking the movie, and they would take to social media and rant about how The Last Jedi ruined my childhood, or some like really absurd things that are just ridiculous, and they would like really pound hard on why The Last Jedi sucks, and here's why, and just blah blah blah. Like, because the critics loved it, it just seemed like the fans hated it, and so I just want to hear what you guys think about this and why you think there's this rift between critics and fans.
I know why, because critics, they are looking at the overall they're not looking at the story or plot line. They're looking at that part a bit, but they're mostly looking about the quality of the film, just the graphics, the design, and the sound effects, all that stuff that makes the movie a good movie. Or the fans, they're really looking for a plot line, and they really didn't move very much in the story, except for the part where Snoke died. Everybody
Spoiler.
knew.
Yeah, spoiler! Snoke dies.
I know, right?
Rey gets told or lied to about her parents.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I
No
think
one
it's a
knows.
lie.
I don't think it's a lie. I think she really is just a nobody.
I think that the reason why there's the vast divide between critics who love the movie and fans who don't like the movie, but I'm a fan who likes the movie. It's also because I'm a critic, but like, why why there is such division between people, even not just critics, just like fans amongst themselves. It's like a fan might say, "Oh, I thought it was really good," and "You're stupid!" Like would be the other person. "You aren't a true Star Wars fan if you like The Last Jedi." You know, like stuff like that. That's my interpretation of social media ranters. I think the reason why is because some fans, they will hold on to things. Like they held on to the theories about who Rey's parents were. And then in the movie, Rian Johnson, the director, he's like, that's not the important thing. The important thing isn't who Rey's parents are. The important thing is Rey. And her journey in this movie is the important thing. It doesn't matter who her parents are because that doesn't really change who she is as a person. That was what Rian Johnson was trying to do. But the fans, who for like 2 years since The Force Awakens came out, ever since after they got out of the theater of Force Awakens, who are Rey's parents? Oh my gosh, I bet it's Luke or Leia or somebody.
Obi-Wan.
It's like they would like,
and then
there was so much YouTube just devoted to who's Rey's parents are, and so fans would be like, I bet it's so and so, and then for the movie to say, yeah, they were nobody, they were just drunkards, like just be like that. Fans like, you ruined it.
Yeah, I felt like it just seemed so they discarded it as unimportant information.
But to the fans, it was important. That's why critics are like, oh, that's great because the important thing in the story is Rey, not this little thing. But to the fans, they felt like maybe personally attacked. Like this thing you've been obsessing over for like over a year.
Integrity.
Boom.
Well, I also think to put it in perspective, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were put in after two directors, and
Yeah, two different directors.
The Force Awakens director actually wanted Rey's parents to be somebody important.
Yes, definitely.
And also that they were leaning towards making the second movie after the second movie of the original series.
I think sometimes we as fans, we might hold on to things like,
Yes.
who is Snoke? Oh, he just got killed off. I guess he wasn't important.
Everybody's been theorizing about who Rey's parents are and who is Snoke.
Yeah.
And they both just like,
And then both of
completely
those things,
disagree.
they're just gone.
They're
And
just
they
like-
also would theorize about what Luke's gonna do. And in this movie,
I know, Luke
in this movie, I kind of have divisive thoughts on Luke because there were some I both liked and I disliked what they did with Luke because there were some really sweet moments where I'm like, oh, there's Luke Skywalker. I see him. Like when R2-D2 did the thing with Leia. I feel like in that moment, that whole scene, I saw Luke in Mark Hamill's performance. But then there were other times in Mark Hamill's performance, I'm like, this is just an old cranky man. This isn't Luke. And I liked it whenever you would see Luke actually in the performance because then it would be like, oh, there he is. There's Luke. I see you, Luke.
I do like how Luke died though. I liked how
that
he
made
was
me cry. Yeah, I didn't like.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about when you watch the first original series and you look at Luke's character, I feel like
not
it
like
was
that.
such a jump to go from the end of number 6 where he's so happy, he's like, hey bros, we're gonna live happily ever after. And then you jump to Force Awakens and you see the last shot, and then you don't know anything yet, the last shot of Force Awakens, but then you go to Last Jedi, and I feel like I'm missing information.
Yeah.
I feel like we needed to have the movie where Luke is training the kids, like to have that movie to
have more
bridge, so we
context.
can see Luke being happy Luke with the kids, and then see this trauma actually do this, because it was such
like all you see of the Jedi Temple in this movie was of him attempting to kill Kylo Ren.
And that was like, what? It's like, I feel like there was such a leap. Like, it was my suspension of disbelief almost. Like, I didn't, like, buy it because it's like...
Also, we don't know what happens to the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, what happened to the Knights of Ren, Rian Johnson? What? Come on, those guys were cool.
I like Yoda.
I like
that
the
was
animation for you.
that could have gone wrong. That could have gone so wrong.
Like,
but
he just destroys the
It's
Yoda.
like, boom! Yeah, you're right.
Lightning. He's like, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Yoda.
Actually, Yoda, Frank Oz.
But The thing is that you see Rey with Yoda's books, with the Jedi books.
Yeah, I
where
noticed
Luke
that.
Skywalker fought that.
She stole them.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I was so confused with that. When, what's his name, pulls a blanket out of the drawer,
And then the books are
there's
there.
books in there. I knew there were books in there. I was like, why are there books in that drawer? I didn't understand.
yeah, she stole them.
She stole the book.
Because Luke never got in the tree before it burned.
Oh, because when Yoda said, the girl already has all the knowledge she needs. I thought he meant in here.
Yeah.
Like, she was just so smart.
She's just so smart.
She's just so smart, man. I thought it was all in, like, there. I didn't know she stole the books. Now, let's
away
talk
all the
about
time.
Leia.
Oh, yeah.
Leia.
Leia.
I'm alive! I'm alive! And I'm gonna die, like, immediately after this movie.
I heard that episode 9 was supposed to, like, if you think about it, how the movie ends off, it could carry over perfectly to Carrie Fisher, Leia, becoming, like replacing Luke almost,
Yeah.
and stepping up and, like, leading the rebellion. That set up perfectly for Leia doing that.
Yeah.
The way that the movie ended, because the rebellion's in shambles, and she could really step up and start making things
Yeah.
happen, and,
Except
like,
for
have emotional ties with Kylo and stuff. That set up perfectly. But now, unfortunately, because Carrie Fisher's gone, I have no idea what
They're
they're
just
gonna
gonna
do.
have to CGI her in
No,
one
I don't
last
want
scene.
them to CGI her,
Yeah.
because they did that with Tarkin in Rogue One, and the entire time he's on screen, I was like, ew. You have no Harrison Ford, you have no Mark Hamill, you have no Carrie Fisher. Your 3 key players from the OG are gone, and so you're left now with Rey and Kylo, which I really like.
Yeah.
But your ties to the old series are now gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
My dad.
Unless they bring back Yoda.
Yeah. I mean, Yoda.
How'd they do that on the
great.
Force users?
You could just, like, sit
think.
next to Rey and, like, you have a hard time, I see. Time to
Like-
talk about the Force.
or maybe Rey could see Luke's Force ghost.
Oh, like Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
What did you guys think about Finn and Rose?
Oh yeah. Yeah. In the first movie, you thought that Finn and Rey were gonna be a
I
romantic
did
couple.
not think
I
that.
thought that.
They seem
That
like
was-
that.
They
Yeah.
seemed like friends.
They
Yeah, they
seem to
did
me
seem-
like a
well,
romantic.
They had no
couple.
chemistry.
The one thing I do not like is that I thought that Finn had completely left, leaving, like running away. I thought he had overcome his fears of the
I didn't
Empire.
like that either.
Yeah, where he's just like running away, and
Yeah.
you're like, wait, what? You just saved everybody. You didn't run away from the fight of Kylo Ren, but now you're fighting away from this.
Well, his goal supposedly was to help Rey,
Yeah.
but it did seem like a cheap,
Yeah,
a
I mean,
cheap
even
way.
through that, I think it was completely justifiable that Rose knocked him out with her taser thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
That was.
I did not like purple hair lady.
No.
Yeah.
I was like,
hated her.
who is this chick and what is she doing
was
here?
Yeah.
I was like, who is this chick and what is she doing here? Get out of my Star Wars movie.
Yeah, like I don't understand like really what purpose she had, and
She-
that decides to like die at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what was her purpose besides looking purple and weird, getting on my nerves, and then dying?
Yeah,
You didn't need her.
It's like that. That was like a twist because you find that she wasn't
I felt like it
important.
was a lame twist because you didn't like her.
Yeah, you thought that she was being the bad guy and she wanted to stay and fight, and she was like somehow secretly working for the other guys. But then at the end, she sacrificed herself, and they're like, "Who are you?"
What'd you guys think about Kylo?
I don't think the one thing that in the first movie that they did good on demonstrating in The Force Awakens, his anger issues.
Yes.
But in this movie, you don't see him go
Yes,
on
you
any
do.
anger.
Yeah,
issues.
That's when he gets his helmet. That
Yeah.
moment, I was like, man, this dude's got issues.
I think I kind of like how I think he looks a bit better with his scar.
Yes, he looks way scarier with the scar, but in this movie, like
in the
I didn't
first
like him
movie,
in
I was
Force
like,
Awakens.
seriously, you're doing some angsty teen.
Oh yeah, he's so emo.
He's not a phase.
He's in a phase, mom. But like in this movie,
He's got a face.
in this movie, he was actually more of a character, and you have more like, I feel bad for him.
I
He's probably my favorite character.
I kind of wish
I
they
agree.
didn't ditch the mask.
I don't agree.
I agree because you have more humanity now. It makes it a harder bad guy when you want him to be saved. Because when they have the mask, you don't see, like, whenever he'd wear the mask, you're just like, oh, it's just blank and blank. It's like some nameless guy.
Not really any
you don't
emotion.
really
I think
care.
I think he looks a bit better with the mask and the
No,
hood.
I think he looks way better
He
with
looks
his
cool.
scar.
He looks
I like it
cooler,
without
but that's
the
the whole point.
Yeah, but
With-
except
of the
for
mask.
with
you
like
see all
with,
the emotion in his face when you don't have the mask. When you have the mask,
except for with
it's a
Darth Vader,
robot.
he was such a like cool character.
Darth Vader was always adjectives.
Yeah.
He was meant to be dark and scary and this brooding figure. But Kylo is a character.
He's not just
He's
darkness.
not. He's not just all.
Darth
those
Vader's
things.
the bad guy.
Darth Vader was always the bad guy up until the end, but with Kylo it's more complicated. And when he
Like,
doesn't
wants
have
to
the
be good,
mask,
but he's like,
and the guy who plays him, Adam Driver, he's a great actor. And I like being able to see all the stuff that's going on in the little minute things of his face. All he did, like that elevator scene, was so good. When you like, I just really liked that. You could see all the stuff tensing and like his face, and I'm just like, oh. Now that brings us to our next question. What do you think the next episode is going to happen? Because we won't have Carrie Fisher. We have the issue with Rey's parents. Is JJ going to go back and say that Kylo lied? And what's going to happen because we don't have Luke or Leia or Han Solo or anything? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know.
I think that Finn's going to take over. Finn and Poe are going to take over the rebellion.
I think in the very few minutes of the movie when it opens, there's going to be some sort of battle, or like they're trying to set up a rebel base and they're getting attacked or something, and then there's going to be an explosion, and like there'll be a little CGI Carrie, and then it'll explode, and then Rey, it'll cut to like Rey, Poe, and Finn, and they'll be like, oh, no, she's gone, and then there'll be like a few moments, hopefully, where we'll get to like mourn actual death of Leia.
Yeah.
Like how they did Luke, I hope they'll be as tasteful with how we'll miss Leia, and then they'll have to move on and figure out what to do next. I think
have
that's
to
what's
move
gonna happen.
on without her.
Yeah. So then I don't know, beyond that, for our spoiler review, what do you guys think? What would you give it? What would you say? Would you recommend it? You know,
I would recommend it.
I would.
You're gonna
totally-
watch it whether you like it or not.
No.
You will watch
I feel like
it.
You
it's gonna-
will. You will. Everyone.
You
will. So overall, we liked Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yep.
We give it a 4 out of 5. That is our average review. We give it 4 out of 5 stars, and it was a great contribution
We did
to
the
the
math.
Star Wars saga. Yes, we did the math because there's math in the Force, and the Force is in the math, and the math is in the Force.
Yes.
And
Algebra equation.
let us know in the comments below what other movies you'd like us to discuss. If this is a good idea or a bad idea, you know.
I think it's a very good idea.
We like
Harry
this,
Potter.
and we hope you like it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Harry-
let us know what things you'd like us to
But there
discuss.
are a lot of movies in Harry Potter. So.
There is indeed, but so are there in Star Wars.
Except
Anyway.
for we're all doing it. Yeah, never mind.
So, adieu, goodbye,
Adieu.
goodbye.